SMU is a very, very good team. I think they're an NCAA tournament team. You know, they've got veterans, 1,000-point scorers, seniors. They're old, and you know, we still cannot find a way to get a stop when we need to. We cut it to 8 or 9 in the second half a couple of times. Couldn't get a stop. But I love the fight second half. Thought it was good. But give SMU credit. You know, they're where we want to be in a couple of years. They're a really, really talented team.
Questions for Coach?
I'll start on defense, and I know you just said
Give me a long-winded question.
Yeah, I will give you. You guys talked about how you can't come up with a stop at the right time, but for the past week, I know you guys were focusing on defense, and you did everything, but you focused on defense. You guys have been good against the three, but man, they got to the rim for 2 games in a row because UTEP kind of did that too. Tonight it looked even worse to me that they were just getting to the rim with regularity.
I think it's the best team we've played, quite frankly. I think it's a really good team, and there's things we got to get better at, but they're bigger, they're stronger, they're talented. But you know, I thought second half it was a little bit better. But again, we're certainly not where we need to be with anything. I don't think we're good at one thing defensively. So keep working on it. It's going to be a process. It's going to take some time. But let's give credit to a really, really good SMU team too, because I think that's the best team we've played.
And part of obviously them getting to the rim is you want a big man back there, rim protecting, all that kind of stuff. So let me ask about Jethro. He didn't start, came out by himself at halftime, several minutes before the rest of the team, and didn't play in the second half.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find guys who are everyday guys who are bought into rebuilding this thing the right way. And you know, I think Sebastian and E-Man had a great week of practice. And so that's really it. You know, I mean, I'm just trying to find guys that are gonna, you know, when you get almost 9,000, 8,000 people coming into this pit in the middle of the pandemic, I appreciate every single one of them. And I want whoever I put on the floor to show them that. And I thought E-Man and Sebastian did that.
I get that maybe there won't be more specifics about it, but was this a decision
There
made before
will
today?
not be any more
Was this a
specifics.
decision made before today, though? Or was it a warm-up kind
No,
of thing?
it's just a decision I made leading up to today.
Richard, both KJ and Jamal talked about learning to go through things together as a team. Do you see that, like them still coming together, able to just
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. I mean, I think, you know, it's the majority of them do. You know, we just haven't been through a lot of adversity together. You know, it's not easy to just flip this thing from 6 wins to just all of a sudden beating an SMU. It's a really good team. So they stay the course, we'll be fine. And, you know, I thought tonight their attitudes were good. I think SMU is an NCAA tournament team. And I think that we have a long way to go to get to that. Give them credit, move on, don't get too emotional, stay the course. I thought we did a lot of good things in the second half, and keep going forward, keep moving forward.
I know what the stats are and all that, but KJ mentioned, and kind of following up on that, KJ just said he thought this might have been in some ways one of your better defensive performances because of the communication and the strides made there.
We scrambled better, right? We covered for each other better, which hasn't really been there quite yet. We were together out there. I think SMU's, I think they're a really good team, and I don't think, it's not that we're not going to be a good team. We'll get there, but they got a lot of older guys and a lot of good firepower.
Coach, in terms of decision making, if somebody's got the ball in their hands, deciding if they want to shoot, if they want to pass, whatever else, what did you see in that today, and in terms of compared to the rest of the season so far?
Well, no offense to your question, but at some point we got to talk about defense, and I know that's boring. If we're going to continue to get stuck in the half court, it's going to be hard to score, and it's going to be hard to make those decisions, especially when you don't really have a true low post yet. But defense, it's boring. I know what I'm talking about. We just gave up 90 points. If we got a couple more stops and we get out on the break, who knows? So when you're going to get stuck in the half court with where we're at right now, it's going to be a little bit challenging at times. But I thought they tried to do what we wanted to do. I really did.
What about in terms of turning defense into offense? We've seen that a few times this year, and it's allowed you guys to be successful.
A little better, yeah, a little better today. I mean, 12 turnovers. So we did do that, and we didn't turn it over too much. We had 5 blocks, which is good. So yeah, still getting there. You know, I mean, it's this thing is, it's not going to happen overnight. But we'll learn from it. We'll get back to work tomorrow. See if we can go beat Norfolk State, who's, I think they've lost 2 games. I mean, they're a pretty good team as well. Stay positive, stay together, see where it goes.
There were a couple of times, Coach, where you were just, it seemed like on the brink of getting it. You know, you got it to 10 and 9 or maybe even 8. They got some buckets off offensive rebounds. Was that, you think, fundamental blockout, or just going back to the talent that you were mentioning that SMU has inside?
It's probably a little bit of both. I mean, they're big, they were quick to the ball. You know, one of the biggest things in the off season is we got to live in the weight room. We got to get a little bit stronger. We're not quite there yet. But yeah, we cut it to single digits several times and just couldn't find a way to get it. So I think it's probably a little bit of both. Fundamentals, discipline, positioning, all of the above.
And they were like you were in the double bonus with about 12 minutes to go. You know, that would have been an opportunity to get some easy points. You know,
No
get
doubt.
to the line. And I guess is it hard to have any kind of strategy to try to draw fouls, or is that just part of the flow of a game?
Well, I mean, run your stuff and attack and be aggressive, but you're not going to win a lot of games if you let a team shoot 50%. You're just not. You're not going to win a lot of games if you're minus 16 on the glass. I think we're a solid offensive team. We're not good enough to beat somebody 95-90, especially a team like SMU. We're just not there yet.
You talked about their leaders and 1,000-point scorers, but Kendrick Davis specifically, 23 in the second half, and
Terrific player. Really didn't enjoy watching him today. I would assume he'll be a first-team all-conference player. Just controlled the whole game. Wasn't lighting it up by any means in the first half, and then just made plays when he needed to. So terrific player. I think probably the best player we've played so far, individually.
it can't be just, well, maybe it is just as simple as getting a win, but what do you need out of Tuesday night to have maybe a somewhat enjoyable Christmas break before league play starts?
Pretty simple. Get a win.
That's about
You know, I mean, it's it. I mean, it's you know, when you're taking over and you're rebuilding, there's going to be some tough days, and there's going to be some tough conversations. And if you just buy in, you know, we're not always perfect, but this first year is so much about building a culture. And I know it's boring. I know media hates when coaches say that, but it is. It's just responding to whatever is thrown our way. And so the goal is tomorrow, check your ego at the door. We're going to tell you the truth. We're going to coach you and see if we can go beat a Norfolk State team. I think they're a really good team. I haven't watched them, but from what I've heard, I think it's not going to be an easy game by any means. You cannot focus on your flight. You can't focus on any of that. I've been a part of teams. That is, every coach hates that game. They hate it. Let's get a win. Let's find a way, and then get a break.
One quick housekeeping kind of matter, since it's the end of the semester, end of finals, and you're about to go on break. Anything that might change rosters because of semester break issues? Grades
Nothing
or-
that you can comment on right now. All right?
Anything else?
Thank
for
you,
Coach?
guys.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Jamal, in case you didn't have it on your thing, 25 points, had 9 field goals, had 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. Questions for Jamal?
Hey, Jamal, I kind of want to start on the other end of the court. Defensively, you guys have been good against the three. They started hot again at the three, but then they just had a layup line, it seemed like, in the second half. They were getting, I don't know if it was so much that they were getting by you guys up top and nobody was helping, if nobody, like, what the issue was. What do you think the issue was with them getting to the rim so consistently?
I just think it first starts with us getting back and getting set. They did a good job of pushing the tempo and pushing the ball. When they had a 4 and 5 or a 4 and 4, you know, just get easy transition points for them. They recognized that we weren't getting back, and they took advantage of it. So I think that was what the main issue was.
Is it something that, I mean, obviously it's fixable, but is it something you guys can fix? And is it something that you guys, I mean, I thought that's sort of what you guys have kind of worked on all week.
Yeah.
Was it a failure in the communication somehow, or were you guys just not executing?
I think obviously we bring back we haven't played together, and we haven't gone through any type of wars together or any adversity together. These are our first wars together. So, you know, we're all young and we're all still learning, and it's not going to be a finished product yet, but we just got to be able to stay positive and work on the things that we need to work on. As far as the defensive end, helping each other out, working on crackdowns, boxing out, just a little stuff, which is all going to come due time. I'm still very excited about this group, and we got a lot of growing to do, and that's exciting. So.
Well, Kendrick Davis had over 20 in the second half. What stood out to you as far as what he does? I mean, he's got all these accolades already, but just seeing him on the floor like that, what stood out to you?
His pace. He knew when to attack. He knew what defenders were on him and what the defenders' strengths were and how to attack them. He's a very good player, which is why he's averaging 25 and 5, shooting great percentages. He's almost 50, 40, 90. So. I have a respect for him, and I was glad to be able to compete with him, but we got to do a better job.
Did you guys see anything on their defense that was similar to what UTEP did? Like, did you guys feel like they maybe watched some of that UTEP film and tried to take off of some of that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, from the UTEP game, they killed us on the glass, and they just were able to disrupt us and get us out of our sets. With this game, they kind of were able to let us run our sets, but they still were able to crash the glass, and they saw that we weren't getting back in transition, so they just took advantage. So they're a really, really well-coached team. They did a great job of executing and just playing on the fly. I mean, we were in there, we cut it to about 7 or 8, but just couldn't hang on. So we just got going back and make adjustments.
What more do you guys need to do to try to get to the basket a little bit more?
I just think dudes need to be more decisive. I think we got a lot of talented guys that can, put the ball on the deck and get to the rim. I just think we just gotta be confident all the time, whether it's going or not. That's one thing about me. If I'm missing, I'm thinking the next one's gonna go in, right? Whether if I'm 0 for 10 or for 11, that's what we gotta have as a collective group. So.
Got one more before Christmas. How important is it not only to win on Tuesday? The opponent is what it is, but not only to win, but like just to have, to execute and to do what you want to do out there.
Extremely important. I mean, these next coming up games, especially before conference, this last game before conference play is important. I mean, we're gonna go back and we're gonna have 1 day to practice, 1 day to prep, so and get ready for Norfolk State, and we'll be better. We're gonna be better. We're gonna come and bounce back.
Jamal, you took the most shots and made the most points. Were you the focal point going into today's game, or was there a point where you needed to put the team on your back and take on the shooting?
I think every game I have a similar mindset. Just I start on the defensive end and just let the offense come to me, because I know I gotta continue to be aggressive at all times, whether if I'm missing or making. So just continuing to be aggressive and just whether the shots are falling, getting to the line, getting in the lane, kicking out for a guy like KJ or House, dudes that can shoot the ball, Javante. Stuff like that. My mentality doesn't change. Each and every game I'm going into attack.
Chris also had 2 rebounds. Questions for KJ?
Let's start on the defense. You guys, Coach told us on Thursday you guys have been working all week on the defense, and you guys have been really good against the 3 this year. I know they hit some early, but for the most part, it was them blowing by you guys and getting to the rim. What needs to change to prevent that? Because that's kind of what UTEP did too.
Yeah, that's just taking pride in defending on the ball. But outside of that, today I think we actually took a step with our defense and rotating, and trying to play 5-man defense, all connected. But at the end of the day, it all starts. You got to guard the ball.
So that's one of the things. I mean, you guys were kind of scrambling and doing well at times when they're rotating. This is a good offense that does reverse the ball. They do a lot of that.
Right.
But it seems like you're kind of starting in December to do that, the 5-man defense that you talked about, and maybe it's a little bit of a late start to that. But do you feel like you guys are just now kind of getting going on that communication and that movement you said?
I think it's just a lot of trust. Like, we've never played together. We've never been through these awards together, and just trusting that the next man behind you is gonna have your back on the defense end. I think it's starting to come along. It's just a matter of watching the film, seeing what we got to do, and showing up and work the next day.
What was that the locker room like? I mean, obviously there's nobody happy up there, but I'm just curious, is it a frustration feel? Is it a we can fix this kind of feel?
There's a lot of emotions in it. You don't try to get caught up in all the emotions after the game, pointing fingers and stuff like that. Just shake it off, come back next day, watch film, just work.
You guys have one more, obviously, before the break, and one more in conference. Asked Mash the same. I mean, obviously Norfolk State is what it is. You guys respect the opponent, but aside from just winning that game, how important is it to come out and execute, do what you guys have been trying to do.
It's big. I mean, we're not trying to lose on home court. We're trying to trust what coach says, go out there, play hard, and I mean, it'll be nice to go home on Christmas with a win, So.